All right. Welcome back to the show, everybody. It's been a week of all kinds of interesting, head-scratching moments, from stories about Embracer to uh, consultants doing consulting things and making fools of themselves. All that good stuff. And while I won't claim that we'll cover all the wackiness that have gone on throughout the week, because this
Mhm.
industry would just mean that this show would never actually stop. It would just be a 24-hour news cycle of stupidity, and frankly put, my mental
Mhm.
health is far more important.
And given our current recording date, next week might have some fun stories.
Yeah. Given how often this show's luck is, where we end the show and then some fuck shit happens as soon as we end the show.
Yeah, but I mean specifically the current date.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot. Yeah, okay.
hmm
You see, though, like
Because it's that date in Japan already, and it's becoming that date for us tomorrow.
oh shit, you're right.
ah.
Don't. Oh god, I have to make sure this gets posted like today. Then I don't want people to think this. I have to make sure this is posted the third. Listen, folks, listen. It is March 31st right now. This is not a fucking joke. God damn it. Fucking, I'm gonna post this shit. People are gonna be like,
You're gonna title it "Not a Joke."
uh,
You're gonna put it in the thumbnail. You're
yeah,
gonna put it everywhere.
it's not a joke. This is not a drill, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have a lot to say that went on this week because I haven't really done a lot.
Mhm.
This is another one of those. I ended up grabbing Mario and Rabbit's Spark of Hope for yeah,
Ah,
Spark of Hope.
that was the sequel, right?
Yeah, that's a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
It was on sale at a local store for $20 instead of 60.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that sounds fine.
I'm not gonna complain about getting a
Mm.
deal once in a while if they have it physical, and
Some
having
lightweight tactics for in between.
I need something to keep me busy once in a while, something to boot
Mm.
up and crush some Goombas with. And honestly, I've been
Mm-hmm.
playing the first one anyways. I got the first one on sale
Ah,
digitally not too long ago. I've been like digging the shit out of that.
okay.
So when I saw this was
Oh,
on sale, I was like, well, I guess I'll indulge.
mm.
Might as well. So
I guess those two games are probably currently the best Nintendo games not made by Nintendo.
uh yeah. Uh I could think of
Or is there
like
anything else with a Nintendo property in these
oh,
times?
that rhythm game where you have to move your character to the beat, the Cadence of Hyrule.
Ah, right. Yeah,
Yeah,
although
Court Necrodancer,
was
Necrodancer. Yeah.
although Necro Dancer was originally non-Nintendo, that was just essentially a sort of a
Yeah.
reskin of
Yeah.
it. But
All
yeah,
right.
that's definitely a good one too.
Yeah, that was
Shoot.
something with Nintendo's.
But it's not too often that Nintendo does the let others do something with their properties. Well, certainly not after certain Zelda games.
Yeah, it's so that's what makes it all the more surprising when we get these
Uh-huh.
weird offshoot games or just like
Yeah.
takes on a Nintendo property. It's like, really, Nintendo? Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fair enough.
Have Ubisoft do those too? Yeah, sure. Why not? I'm sure they haven't been mega sellers of any sort, but I think they sold decently. The second one probably less so,
I,
but
I it's surprising because they're actually really fun. That's the crazy thing. I
mm-hmm.
feel like people like rolled their eyes
Yeah,
at them because of the rabbits thing, but they're
probably. Yeah, that probably didn't help too much.
they're surprisingly really fun games. Like, I'm gonna be
Mm-hmm.
honest, I'm actually like, I had watched a video about the second one, and I was like, oh, that
Mm-hmm.
looks cool. So I picked up the first one. It was
Yeah.
on sale, and I'm like, this is fun. Why the fuck nobody told me about this shit? The hell?
Mm-hmm.
Shit's cool.
Yeah, I haven't played them either, but what I saw of it, yeah, they look fun, and you can certainly notice that they're not taking themselves seriously at all
Oh
with it. They're
no,
just having fun with it.
yeah, no, absolutely not. There is absolutely no chance they're taking themselves seriously, and god damn it, I don't want you to. Fuck it,
Which is
it's
good.
Mario. Mario
Yeah.
shouldn't be taken
It's
seriously.
Mario and rabbits. I mean, there's nothing in there that says, yeah, this shit can take itself seriously.
Yeah, this is serious, fellas. This is very serious. It's not serious. It's
Yeah,
not.
no one's gonna make an 18 plus, an R-rated Mario and Rabbids game.
God, I hope not. Please don't.
The Last of Rabbids.
Yeah, right. That's what
Mario fighting against zombie
yeah,
rabbits.
that's what this industry really needs right now, isn't it? That's the hero. It's not the hero we asked for. It's the hero we needed all along. Obviously. Nobody.
The hero no one wanted and no one needed, and
nobody asked for that shit. Nobody woke up. Nobody woke up on a Saturday morning and went, you know what we really need? M-rated Mario Rabbids game on the Switch. So I'm actually
I mean, what else is gonna happen? Are they gonna cross Doom and Animal Crossing? Oh wait.
Oh yeah, I forgot. We lived through that timeline, didn't we? That was such
that was fun.
That was such like I will say, like, not to like take up too much time on the show about this, but there's a lot of moments I think in like the gaming culture landscape where you get these really weird, like, it has nothing to do with the it has nothing to do with the company. Like, the company had nothing to do with it, but these weird like culture crossings of like two things that don't make any goddamn sense. Because I don't know if you remember,
so funny.
But the only reason why Doom and Animal Crossing had this media thing where people were drawing art about it was because Animal Crossing got pushed to come out the same day that the new Doom was. That's why there was no conceivable reason for all that shit to happen.
You don't need more.
It was Nintendo saw an opportunity, released Animal Crossing slightly early because business reasons, and then people jumped on that shit.
They ran with it.
Totally weird ass direction, man. Like, gaming sometimes can be a trash fire, but sometimes I look at gaming and I just go, damn, that's fantastic. I love it. But yeah, I haven't had a lot going on this week. So I'm gonna talk about this a little bit. So I bought this like a long time ago. I probably talked about it on the show because it's something I use a lot. It's this thing. It reads cartridges for like Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games. It dumps the ROM. It pulls the save. It's a nice backup tool for carts. Well, they added a bunch of new features in the most recent update because one of the features they added is it now supports cheat code. It now supports like using like cheats if you wanted to put in like cheat codes for your. Yeah, it does it now. It supports that because you can play the. Okay, so what it can do is
so you can link that to another system and you can directly play the game from that.
Yeah, I can like so I can play the game on my PC. All it's really doing is ripping the ROM temporarily and then playing it via the emulator in the program.
I see. Okay. So it's okay. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. So it's essentially then. Like with the added functionality, it's essentially like an Action Replay Pro from back then.
Yeah.
Or a Game Genie.
I use it mostly for like backing up save files for like games that will
useful.
Inevitably die.
That's useful, especially for games that only have one save slot.
Yeah, only one save slot and fucking batteries that eventually die.
Yep.
You know, not claiming planned obsolescence here, but
I mean, at the time they
Uh,
didn't have any other option
Right. So the only option is either a thing that will eventually die or just don't make the thing.
or
And I
nothing.
don't. Yeah, or just don't. Yeah, like I said,
Hmm.
don't make the thing. So it's
Yeah.
yeah. You wait.
And now imagine having to play through Pokemon just in one sitting.
Oh, like an arcade game? Oh Jesus, no. Good God, no. Not in a million years. I
Hmm.
don't dude, like the concept of like saving your game. I can only imagine like for like the one of the
Although they could have made passwords, but I don't even want to imagine how long that password would be for a game like Pokemon.
oh no. Oh
That would be.
no. That
That's the whole screen full with the password.
oh, okay. So Golden Sun and Golden Sun Lost
Mm-hmm.
Age has a password so it has two ways you can move your data from game to game. It has the
Uh-huh.
link cable function, so you can just transfer your data between two games
Uh-huh.
using that, and that moves your
Uh-huh.
data from Golden Sun to Lost Age really easily. Or it has the
Uh-huh.
password function. So the password
Uh-huh.
function has three levels: bronze,
Uh-huh.
silver, and gold. Each one transfers
Uh-huh.
over more data.
Uh-huh.
So if you
Uh,
choose to do the gold transfer via
uh-huh.
password, I think it boils down to something like 10 to 15 pages
Mm-hmm.
of like password. Like,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Yeah, that's.
to 10 to 15 pages of actual password
Mm-hmm.
that you have to do. Yeah, no, fuck that.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yep.
is there's a reason why. The thing is I kind of wish I could have like been more aware of gaming back then, like when like the
Mm-hmm.
first Zelda game came out for like NES, and like that was like one of the first games that really utilized the backup save, the
Mm-hmm.
battery RAM save thing.
Yeah.
That must have blew some people's minds, like the idea of like
Mm-hmm.
saving your game and like that shit is just
Mm-hmm.
there now. It's like, oh
Yeah.
shit, it saved my game. Nowadays, it's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh shit, this game only lets me have
It
one
didn't?
save. Yeah,
Wait, what?
this game only lets me have one fucking
Mm-hmm.
save file, and I have to pay for other ones. The fuck? Konami, looking at you. That was some fuck shit you did there, but you know, fair enough.
Which one was that? Oh,
The
paying for it.
that was the one that came after Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain. The weird zombie survival game
Oh,
that
the
they did.
Survive one. Metal
Yeah.
Gear Survive. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, you had
Okay.
to pay. You had to
Mm-hmm.
pay per save slots.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah, cool. That's not a word I'd pick, but fair enough, CD. Not an adjective I'd
I
choose.
I mean, after saying Metal Gear Survive, there's nothing else you need to say.
You know what?
That's
That's
just
fair.
it.
You're up to bat, CD. The bases are loaded.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, it's been, well, exploring the Forbidden West. That's
Oh,
been my week, essentially. Continuing that
oh,
game.
oh for PC, right?
Mm-hmm. And it's still running nicely. And the two issues that I had, the main issues, have been patched.
Oh, well, shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the only thing that's left now that I have to be careful of is in the quest menu. When you look at the quest and and a quest category and there's a list, and I scroll down in it, I have to remember to scroll up again before I go into another category that's a shorter list.
Hmm.
Because that list will be scrolled up all the way out of the display. So
Oh goodness.
yeah, I'm not sure why they didn't or what they did there, but it's probably just an oversight on their part. Because they scroll the general list, and if the other list is too short, you don't have a scroll bar, so you can't scroll. So you have to re-enter the other one and then continue looking at going to the top there, and then that works again with the other categories. But yeah, that's a minor thing in comparison, because most of the lists aren't that long.
Yeah, okay.
It's mainly the job list that I can manually create. That one can get quite long, because what's nice in this game is that for shops and item upgrades, you can create jobs, so you can track them in your quest list. Like, I want to buy certain equipment, either an outfit, so armor, or one of the weapons from the shop, but I need specific resources for that, and I don't have them yet. So I create a job that gets added to the quest list, and when I activate that, it highlights on the map where I need to go to find those resources, which is handy. And pretty much the same for upgrades, for equipment upgrades, like weapon upgrades, outfit upgrades, the pouch upgrades, so storage for resources, like I can carry up to X arrows with me or X plants and the like before they get sent to stash. Which logistically in the game, I don't know how that works, but it's a nice quality of life feature.
Don't try to.
That's
don't
not something that's not something you want to question.
Yeah,
It's a
don't
game,
do that.
so
Don't
that's
do
fine.
that. It's gonna. Your old look, man. I try to logistically explain all kinds of shit in video games, and that shit never works. So all right, sometimes it works. 90% of the time, I'm just like, this was fucking stupid. Why did I waste my time?
Sometimes you could explain it with in-game tech that's available, but most of the time it just is what it is.
Right.
Yeah. But it's going well with that. I'm currently at the second map expansion, so I have access to pretty much most of the map now. I just haven't explored a lot of it yet, of the big part. But I'm at around level 21 with the character, and I've gotten some decent equipment so far. Fought some of the bigger machines. There's still, especially one of them, the Thunderjaw, which was the biggest one in the first game. Yeah, that one's still a decent challenge, depending on your equipment and how much time you have in terms of getting ready for the fight. And of course, the first time you fight that one in a side quest, you don't exactly have prep time, because that thing gets planted almost right in front of you.
Oh no.
It's kind of like we found a survivor here. Oh, there's the Thunderjaw. Let's fight. Cool.
It's like, oh, he's right here.
Oh. Yeah. Just a few meters away. Yeah, great. Okay. Let's go at him.
It's like, cool. I love it.
Yeah, let's go fight that mechanical T-Rex.
I just, all right. So I'm gonna bring this up from the perspective of like a late 80s, 90s kid, right? I was born 88. I grew up through the 90s. So I'm going to count myself as mostly a 90s kid. You probably qualify way more as an 80s kid, more than I would.
I'm
right?
born as an 82, so...
Yeah, way more 80s kid than me. He-Man, by the time I was old enough to remember, He-Man and fucking G.I. Joe was already out of vogue with my generation. Like that was over. Yeah. As somebody who grew up with Jurassic Park, the concept of making a robo-dinosaur horrifies me to my very spirit. And at that point, I am reminded of Ian Malcolm. You spent so long asking if you could, you never stopped to think and ask yourself if you should.
if you played the first game, yeah, there's bits of that as well. But
Oh,
that's part of the
fantastic!
reason for the game.
Oh, thank God.
Not
Somebody,
not with dinosaurs specifically, but that topic of doing it because you could, not thinking if you should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dinosaurs already caused
Mm-hmm.
me existential fear. All right.
Yeah, although most of the machines in the game are robotic animals of all kinds, not necessarily dinosaurs, but that one is the closest.
Yeah, somebody.
It's not in its form isn't exactly like a T-Rex, far from it, but it's pretty much the closest one you think of.
Cool. No, I mean not cool. It's actually quite
Mm-hmm.
horrifying and causes me existential dread, but
Mm-hmm.
uh all right. So,
Yeah.
unless you
And
have
your
any
main weapons are arrows and traps and the like, so
Yeah, I know I'm dead. I'm dead. That I died. That's
it's doable, but yeah.
yeah,
It's interesting to
yeah.
think about.
Yeah, interesting. Again with your choice of
Hmm.
adjectives. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
May you live in interesting times.
Yeah, I guess. Uh, so, um, I'm going to just
Mhm,
compile the Embracer bit into like one
mhm.
segment instead of talking
Sure.
about it in three different segments. Cause fuck that noise. I'm not doing that.
That's
We'll
absolutely fine.
start. We'll start with Embracer letting go of Gearbox.
Gearbox. Hmm.
They are getting rid of Gear. They are letting go of Gearbox out of their war chest of companies and such for 460 million to Take Two Interactive. Take Two will end up getting Take Two along with getting obviously Gearbox will be getting the Borderlands and Tiny Tina's Wonderland franchise as well as Homeworld, Risk of Rain, Brothers in Arms, and Duke Nukem.
Hmm. Yeah,
Duke
Gearbox has had
Nukem.
that for a while. Because they've been
Meanwhile,
the ones that made forever. Well, finished
meanwhile,
forever.
Embracer will be retaining Cryptic Studios, Lost Boy Interactive, Capture
Hmm.
Dimensions, Gearbox Publishing, and a bunch of other stuff. I'm not going to go into all of them. It's a bunch.
Hmm.
So okay, fine. I mean, 460 million. That's
Yeah,
not.
although from what I think it's mainly in shares and not in cash. But
Okay.
still, it's for Embracer. It's still well, I'd say it's probably a necessary deal.
So what happened after this news that
Hmm.
got brought up was the fact that
Yeah.
upon Gearbox being acquired by Take Two in this deal, they had to undergo layoffs. Which this now look layoffs suck as it is, but this one doesn't truly
Mm.
surprise me because usually whenever there's an acquisition, some people got to be sacrificed on the pyre to
Mm.
they got to be
Yeah.
sacrificed for the sake of the transition. So this doesn't necessarily surprise me. It still kind of
Hmm.
sucks. And according to the article on VG Sarts, there were tweets from a decent amount from the devs of that team, letting known that they lost their job,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
that like to me I think that while I'm willing to like not blame like Take Two or blame Gearbox for the layoffs necessarily, I will say
Hmm.
it does feel incredibly unfair to lose your job over the fact that Embracer fucking botched a deal, didn't follow through with the deal and had to
Hmm.
start throwing shit overboard in order to keep the ship from sinking. To me,
Hmm.
I just find this entire thing to be like I don't want to say like not even tragic because like tragic would make it sound like it was slightly out of their control. I don't know. I still find some of the terms of how this happened to be like well within your
Mhm.
control. Like, I still feel like
Uh,
you could have hedged. You could always
I'd
hedge
say
your
it's
bets.
tragic from the perspective of the developers affected.
Yeah, like you could always hedge. You could always hedge your
Hmm.
bets. They could have
Yeah.
hedged their bets. They did. They didn't, but they could have.
Hmm. Yeah, from the perspective of Embracer, it's more a case of bad strategy. On the perspective of all the developers, it's more a case of tragedy.
Yeah. So this sucks. I'm not happy with this.
Hmm.
Now,
Yeah.
okay. You might be wondering, but Rezo, you said you were going to compile this all into one big story. That's only two stories. Well, there was one other thing that came up with Embracer that might have caused my co-host to go into a slight conniption, go into a slight coma at the mere idea. This article was surfaced on PC Gamer just 2 days ago at the time of recording this. As restructuring ends with the sale of Gearbox, Embracer CEO has new plan. Simply making better products and games.
Oh, really now?
Wing Force says Embracer's current plan to increase profitability and cash flow generation is simply making better products and games, which is quite the suggestion. I love this article so much. Just make better. I honestly, CD, this is a bold new strategy
It's
in
breaking your
business.
brain as well.
Yeah, this is a bold new strategy in business and gaming. Just don't make terrible things. Make things that people want, and maybe keep
Hmm.
Aspire from touching ports.
Hmm.
Keep Asper from touching ports, please. Don't let them touch any more ports. Keep them away from that shit. Every port they touch has been cursed. Do not let them touch that shit. Put them in a closet somewhere and fucking keep them away from touching ports.
Put them in a closet, lock it, throw away the key.
Yeah, no, I don't care how hard you want to claim they're working on shit. No, keep them away from touching ports. They ground them. I don't care what you have to do. So there was, I guess there was sort of like already like this talk on the outside about the idea of like mergers and acquisitions, and he's like, I think it's way too early to start talking about restarting the M&A, merger and acquisition engines again. Now we are in the late phase of the consideration into the future of the group, and that's our highest focus and priority for now. Yeah, that should you make good product, please.
Yeah.
just justify you guys going full on Pac-Man for like a year and a half.
Mm-hmm. If it was
Justify.
even that, I think it was even longer, but yeah.
Yeah. Justify it. Justify it to the public that that we didn't just witness you vor a bunch of
Mm-hmm.
companies and then destroy them in the process. Please. Please. For the sake of all of us, please do that. I would.
I mean, we've already had some nice output from them, some positive output. Not all perfect, obviously, but there were nice examples there. But yeah, that's definitely what they should focus on now. Because that would be a good thing for them to increase their output, or rather make their output better, and thus increase their sales numbers, and that would also give them more cash flow. Which, yeah, at this point would definitely be a good thing.
Would be a much better thing than what we've seen. So yeah, anything to
Mm-hmm.
get some cash back into your pocket. Unfortunately, I wish I could say I was done talking about layoffs because,
Yeah.
time
There's always one more.
time is a flat fucking circle, so the shit just goes round and round and round and round and round again. Sega to be reportedly laying off 240 staff as Company of Heroes developer Runic announces plans to go independent following sale. 200 oh shit. Okay. 240 staff. Shit. It's a little on the rough side. But I mean, how large is Runic to justify that kind of a
I mean, that's not like that's affected there. That's
okay. It says Sega. Yeah, okay. So it's Sega.
Yeah, it's Creative Assembly, it's Sega Europe, and Hardlight. Those
okay
are affected
okay.
by
So that's not all right. That's not great, but it's nice to know it's not just like one studio taking the massive hit to staff. I will say, and I don't usually try to like take a negative tone towards this industry. I know I know the show would lead you to believe that we are cynics, and for the most part we are. But if you have talent, if you're an artist, a programmer, maybe don't go to get you have value. Like, you are probably a very talented individual with skills that could be appreciated in other unique fields that don't involve this industry. I just have a really hard time looking at this industry, even from the outside, and go, yeah, I could totally see people wanting to fresh new talent wanting to come into this industry. I look at this industry and I'm like, shit, dude. If I had the kind of talent necessary to even get in, I'd probably look somewhere else before I'd consider it. Jesus.
Or look at devs that are smaller, more independent, and look at what they've been doing before you decide where to apply.
Yeah,
if you still want to go to the gaming industry.
If you insist, just be super picky about where you choose to go. Because I really take this into account, and this is probably the most uplifting thing I can possibly say. This industry needs you a lot more than you need them. Let me be clear. Without the people who end up getting crunched to fucking hell and back, without the people sitting at desks coming up with these things to make these games a reality, this shit doesn't happen. So don't ever for a second think that you need them. They need you. Your talent is necessary for this industry to even fucking exist. They need you way more than you need them. And despite how this fucking train wreck fucking disaster fucking fire of a industry can look some days, that doesn't change. That doesn't change the reality that you could go somewhere else. I would just caution to think once, think twice, and if all else fails, think one last time before you consider jumping into this industry. Even from the outside, even I have to look at this fucking bridge and go, this shit does not look solid. I don't feel safe walking across this bridge.
Why am I seeing a boat below the bridge? That's
oh god. Oh, that's relevant too. That's the worst part. Oh, god damn it. All right. less depressing news, but still kind of depressing. Tales games are delisted from PSN. Tales of
Some of them.
Xillia 2, Hearts R, and Symphonia Chronicles. It should be noted, before I get too much into this, that these were delisted from certain regions, because as far as I know, the USA region, there hasn't been any actual games listed on there. There's content you can still buy off the PS3 store, but you can't buy like actual games anymore. Like actual games are no longer on there. Like some indie stuff's still there, but that's about it.
And in some cases, it's only specific packs that aren't available anymore.
Yeah.
Because some of them, like Xillia and the Tales of Symphonia games, some of them are in a package, and some are available separately. And in case of the North American PS3 store, Chronicles has been made unavailable, and Xillia 2. But Grace's F and Xillia 1, for example, are only available as a double pack, that's an interesting one to make as a double pack.
Makes me really happy. I own those on my shelf. That makes me...
Yep, same.
Makes me... I will tell you, the more I see stuff get delisted, the more I'm like, damn, it's a good thing I decided to buy a lot of these when they launched, because fuck. You would just be out of luck with some of these, though. Like, Hearts R, I could tell you outright, Hearts R was not a very popular seller. Like physically...
I mean, it was a Vita title, so...
And it also doesn't help that physically that was a GameStop exclusive.
Okay.
So, let's narrow down the potential market of people who could actually buy it anyways to even further.
If you have the games already bought digitally, you can still re-download them, but we all know that's also on a limited time lifespan.
Yeah, hopefully things like shift where like that stuff's available to people if you already bought it, because I paid for that shit. Like, I hope we don't end up seeing that become a thing. Like, fine, you don't want people to be able to buy it, like, that sucks ass, but if someone's already bought it, that that's where I personally get a little...
At some point, when the systems aren't available anymore and they get out of support and all, at some point those downloads are gonna go offline as well. But as long as it's not available for another backwards compatible system or something like that, so I don't know. That's at some point it's probably gonna happen. That PSP, PS Vita, and PS3 titles are gonna be digitally gone.
Yeah, just completely gone. So that sucks. I don't think I have anything. I have some digital games, but nothing. But a lot of that digital stuff I have on PS3 isn't stuff that I'm like. Most of it isn't stuff that I'd be like super miffed if I lost. Especially with my interest these days, with just being mostly RPGs, and I know I bought the majority of the RPGs I give a shit about, so. Wouldn't be happy about it, but I also wouldn't be like, heartbroken. So
not a big deal in comparison.
Yeah, if you honestly, internet, you want to help me out here, make Disgaea D2, A Brighter Darkness, available on Switch, please. Fuck, make that available literally anywhere else.
Yep, that and 3. As well.
Yeah, 3, yeah. Well, 3, please. Make them available literally anywhere else, and I would probably stop bitching and moaning about this, but every day that you don't...
For the time being.
Yeah, every day that you don't is another day you have to hear me bitch and moan about it, so... And no, I'm not going to stop bitching and moaning about it, so... Until they do something about it, you're just gonna have to keep listening to me. sorry, not sorry. Let's see here. Oh, so sky's blue. The sky's blue, water's wet, and there's a new No Man's Sky update.
Yeah, speaking of things that don't stop.
The No Man's Sky update. Who would have thought?
Mhm.
I actually checked. I covered No Man's Sky already, like weeks ago. Literally, it wasn't even that far. It was like maybe a month or two ago.
Yeah,
Good
it's
on
been about a
you.
month since the
Yeah,
last update.
good on you guys. I might
And this
actually
one
have to like.
brings some decently nice changes. It's not a massive update, but it brings things like the space stations have been redesigned. Like they're internally much bigger now, and also you have your own ship designer now.
Huh.
Which that's quite nice. And apparently you can find stuff in the universe, like ship parts. You can salvage them and use them in your ship designer as well. So that's that's quite the nice feature.
So it's not listed on the story list, but I thought I would tell you a
Mhm.
little story about a little MMO called Final Fantasy
Mhm.
14.
Okay.
And Dawn Trail went up. The new expansion went up for pre-order a handful of days ago, and oh no, that was a clusterfuck. Everything got brought down, dude. The second pre-orders went live, everything went down.
The servers
Everything.
waved the white flag.
No, the servers were not up to the fucking task. And like I'm not even going to like sit here and like point at Square and be like, "Get your shirt." No, I can't even blame Square at this point because 14 has become this never-ending monster of a service that they have to maintain. And every time they announce a physical collector's edition, this shit happens. All I'm really hoping for is that when this shit comes out this time around, since I won't be working anyway, so it's not like I'm gonna have to take time off from work for this anyways, which is actually kind of nice. Not like I miss working, but at the same time, like my misery can be slightly offset. I can offset the misery. Hopefully this time I don't have to wait in queue for 2 hours to potentially play the game. That would be nice. I didn't get to play Endwalker for like the first 2 weeks. It came out. I didn't get to play it for like 2 weeks.
Okay.
The servers were so fucked up for 2 weeks for trying to wait in queue.
Whoops.
And not to sound tighty, but I was like, I have better things to do than wait for 2 hours to play the game. So I'll just. What I think what made that suck is that by the time I got to play, everybody I knew had already like finished things. They were on to like other content, and I had just started, so I was like, this
even 2 weeks. That's yeah. Whew, when problems persist for that long, yeah. That's a damn popular expansion then.
Yeah, Endwalker was like the coalescence of like multiple factors that all played into that between like COVID at the time and between streamers. A lot of really big streamers were really picking up 14 at the time, which caused a very strong influx of traffic.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, some really big streamers had found 14 and were like hyping it up because they were really getting into it. So like I said, there were a lot of factors that played into that expansion being what it was. Like
so they knew it's gonna be popular, but they still massively underestimated how popular.
Yeah. Like even before the launch, I was having like there was like congestion issues on my data center. At like certain hours, the congestion would just get like really bad. So it was
did
never
Endwalker release end of 21.
okay. So yeah, Like there was a lot of things that played into that
Mm-hmm.
launch that contributed to it being what it was.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
Oh,
not
that was only the fourth expansion pack. Huh.
Heavensward, Stormblood,
Uh-huh.
Shadowbringers, Endwalker. Yeah, that would be the fourth.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Given how long it's been around, yeah, they.
These
It's funny.
expand.
If it was the WoW cadence, it would probably be quite a bit more at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah, but I don't want to talk. WoW upsets. Wow, Blizzard upsets me so much with WoW. It does.
Mm-hmm.
It just.
Yeah, it's
I
been
have my
one
own.
every 2 years. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I have grievances with World of Warcraft outside of just its expansions. Just like
Mm-hmm.
the content rollout for each expansion is so absurdly inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I have issues with World of Warcraft. At least with 14 I do feel like the devs were actively like
Mm-hmm.
supporting the game, whereas with World of Warcraft it feels like the devs part-time support the game, and all the other times they're just like, "Yeah, they'll be fine."
Mm-hmm.
It's fun. So, I'm looking forward to Dawn Trail. That's definitely
Mm-hmm.
something I'm looking forward to. What else was there?
Yeah. That's the first one that doesn't actually have the regular 2 year difference between each expansion. Huh, interesting.
Let's see here. What do we have
Mhm.
here? Oh, we have a new Hellgate game that was announced. Now, I'm not
Yeah, we
familiar with
haven't heard
Hellgate.
that name a long time.
Yeah, I have to say I'm not familiar
Originally,
with Hellgate.
mhm, originally Hellgate London was announced as a successor to Diablo, a spiritual successor, or translating it into the 3D space as an action RPG shooter, effectively, or partly shooter, partly melee. That was Bill Roper going independent. That was originally what was the exact date when it released? In 2007. Yeah, that's interestingly after that one massively failed.
Oh.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why we haven't heard that name for a long time. At some point, I think the IP got sold. I think to an Asian publisher, or at least it's been used. It's only been used by an Asian publisher so far. I think Korean, but I'm not 100% on that. But it's never been anything big since then. And out of the blue now, there's been an announcement for a new Hellgate game, which, all right, let's see if they do better this time. Yeah.
I, I'm trying to gauge that optimism that just came out of your face right now, and you're just like, "Well, I
Mm,
guess we'll just have to wait and see."
yeah, I mean, in certain aspects, it can almost only be better, because at the time they were so let's see, how would we call that? Not just ambitious, but very sure of themselves that they sold. They had, besides the regular single player game, they had also subscription based subscription for it for the multiplayer. You could play free, but you had some restrictions there. And then they had the subscription. And what you could then do is buy a lifetime subscription for a relatively high amount. I'm not sure how much it was. Probably around 100, 150, somewhere in that area. And the game, I think, never. I think it never came to that subscription anyway.
Oh.
Or not really yet. I think if it even came to it, it was probably just a few months. But I think it might even have shut down before they even added the subscription. Because that thing really bombed.
Ooh.
It had kind of decent reviews, nothing really big, nothing great. I think the Metacritic would be around 70s or something like that, if even that high. But let's just check for funsies if that thing's on there. Ah, what do you know? It's exactly 70. There we go. I didn't even plan that. But yeah, had a 70 Metascore, so pretty much bombed in sales. And, well, never went anywhere big. It's a shame, because the concept kind of had promise, but they didn't really do anything much with it. I think they were too ambitious with it for the size of the studio, which I think was probably just not big enough for anything like this.
That's unfortunate.
But it happens.
Yeah, overambition is
often a problem, but it's not a surprise when you come from a studio that made Diablo.
Yeah, that's quite a.
You're kind of in that mindset of we are great, or I am great, and
it's like,
I don't know
we
how
got
many
this.
people came from there as well. Yeah, I'm not sure how many people came from Blizzard as well. Certainly, Bill Roper came from there, and some other people like Max Schaefer, Eric Schaefer, David Brevik, former high-level people from Blizzard North. And some people probably came also from Blizzard with them, but yeah, the only... does it say how many there were? Not really, but yeah, it wasn't that great a studio in comparison. Sadly, didn't live long. They were founded 2003. The game released 2007. And the studio was dissolved in 2008.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Damn. That's hella uncomfortable. Shit.
Didn't take long for the studio to shut down after that game.
Yeah, clearly. Christ. Well, CD, I'll be honest. That is actually all the stories off the list. So, and I don't think I have any fun, nonsensical bullshit that I usually do towards the end of the show that I'm routinely trying to squeeze in at the very end because it just didn't have a place on the fucking list. For once, this week didn't justify that kind of stupidity, which is crazy because usually this industry has all kinds of stupid shit I have to try to squeeze onto a list.
I guess they also wanted just to go into Eastern holiday and just not do as much shit.
not do stupid shit. I mean, I'm not giving them that much credit, but yeah, that's a nice.
They just didn't have the time.
Yeah, that's a nice little fanfic if you want to write that. I guess. Nice little piece of fan fiction. Not the truth, but certainly nicer than what I could probably imagine is actually the truth. Oh, goodness. Is there anything else? I don't think there is. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that's it. For once, this is not as a depressing week as it usually is for this show, which is certainly nice. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I don't think I have much planned this week outside of a slight retooling project with my Steam Deck. I've decided that I'm going to change a couple things and just make it my emulation deck. It is no longer for PC games. It's just for emulating. That's all I want to do with it. 'Cause I don't really play many PC games to begin with. I just don't see the value for PC games on it. So I'm just going to just throw a bunch of things I can emulate, which apparently the Steam Deck can emulate like all the things. And I'll say it can emulate like all the things. So I don't feel like I'm going to be missing out there. So that's my project. That'll also get me back an SD card, because I've been needing an SD card for another project, and there's one currently in it. So I was gonna just reformat the fucking Steam Deck, set that up for emulation, set that up for purely just emulation, move over the games I really want to play, things I really want to fuck around with, and then be done with it. That's what I'm going to do. That's what it's gonna be used for.
Sounds good.
Because I don't give a shit about PC. I mean, like, it's not like I don't like. I'm in a weird spot gaming wise where it's like PC gaming just doesn't really grab me the way I feel like. It doesn't grab me as a platform, but most people are like, well, if you could play it on your PS5, you can just play it on your PC. I don't see what the difference. Well, sorry, my guy. I do see the difference. I do there is inherently a difference. At the very least, I just find convenience a bit more important to me to some degree. Maybe not. I don't know if maybe it's convenience. I haven't really figured that part out yet. But yeah, that's my plan for the Steam Deck. So that's probably going to be something I work on this week, is getting that updated and ready for MU Deck and all the things I want to throw on it. I have quite a few things I actually do want to throw on it, like such as I want to try Dreamcast emulation, which apparently it also does PS3 emulation successfully really well from what you've told me.
Yep. Which
is
worked fine.
Kind of amazing. I have to be honest. I think I find the Steam Deck like super interesting in that regard, just because like we've had more powerful pieces of equipment get released. Like the ROG Ally is a discernibly more powerful piece of hardware. Like that's not a debate. Like no one's debating that a lot of these PC handhelds that get made now are just like more powerful than the Steam Deck. But goddamn. The Steam Deck is like a black box when it comes to some of the stuff it can do. It's actually really impressive, especially in the emulating scene. And this also means that since I no longer have my media PC, I will still have a way to capture all of the PS2 stuff I still want to do for my channel, because the Steam Deck does output. So I don't have to worry about that shit anymore. That shit's already taken care of. So fantastic for me.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, I had slightly considered the fact I might have shot myself in the foot with that, but then I was like, oh, I didn't shoot myself in the foot. I still have a PC, technically. So
yeah,
it's all good. I'll be fine. Anyways, everybody, as always, you can find our podcast on a variety of platforms, such as Apple, Google, and Spotify. You can also find the video version of our podcast available on our YouTube channel, Turn-Based Cynics. At some point in time, no commitments. At some point in time, the new episode will be there. Available to be viewed, and at some point in time the new episode for this will be available across podcasting platforms to listen to. That is my promise, and that is as specific as I am willing to be about that promise. Deal with it.
Yes.
But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is a wrap. I can't think of anything else that has crossed my mind for the week. I'm going to go see how I feel in the next few hours and maybe go see the new Ghostbusters film.
All right.
Which is, it's all right. So you know what? Fuck it. How much time do I have left? Because this is actually something that's been like, yeah, I got time. This has been something that's been bugging me. Like, so for like, all right. So I had seen like some critical reviews of the movie, and the critics are like, oh, this movie is nothing but fan wankery, and it's just they had an opportunity to do something new and fresh with this, but it's just more fan wankery like the last one. 6 out of 10. Okay, fine. So I see the critical reviews and I'm like, oh, that's a shame. That looks the last one was really fun. And then everybody I know who's seen the movie is like, bro, this movie's awesome. And I'm like, oh, all right. Never mind.
The critic viewer disconnect strikes again.
It's fan wankery. I think like IGN gave it like. I think I saw IGN didn't score it well, but like I said, I didn't really care that much about critical reviews.
Okay. Because last time that I looked, the audience score was lower, because it was both on a rotten scale, so I wasn't sure about it. But now it's 44% on the critics side, giving it an average 5.2 out of 10. And the audience, the verified one, has an 84% positive with a 4.2 out of 5. So yeah. Yeah, that's yeah, that seems like it's pretty much it's pretty similar to the previous one. Where with the previous one, the critics have been a bit more positive about it. With Afterlife, that was 64-94.
I dug Afterlife though.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
I dug Afterlife. But
absolutely.
But a lot of that was because like they treated the franchise really well with that movie.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, it wasn't just a joke to them. The Ghostbusters were the Ghostbusters existed in this universe, and two, people who knew about people who were around for the Ghostbusters were like, bro, that shit was crazy. Like think about this for a second.
Yeah, it's what you'd expect from people that have seen that.
Yeah, like, not to mention, just in like a meta sense, imagine growing up in a world where the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man stomped around New York.
Yep.
Like that happened. Like,
yeah, that's a core memory of your childhood.
Yeah, like there were news reports. I would love for them to do a short film of like older people recalling that memory of like, yeah, I was getting dinner with my wife, and then like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man walked by and stepped
across the window. What
the
hell?
Yeah, like that shit was crazy. Oh, in CD, we can't possibly forget the time when the Statue of fucking Liberty walked through New York.
Stood up and walked right across this.
Yeah,
yeah.
like this. Okay, so you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go into. So one of the things I hate about the more recent Jurassic World movies, especially the most like recent one, was this weird disconnect between how I feel people should feel about the things in Jurassic World, the things in the world that exist with dinosaurs, versus how
the in-universe people acted.
Yeah. Like okay. So Jurassic World takes place in a timeline where in the 1990s a cargo ship crashed into the pier of San Diego with a literal fucking T-Rex in its cargo bay. That happened. And then the
Was
T-Rex...
that from Park 2 or 3?
That was part 2. And then the T-Rex was accidentally set free from the cargo bay, ran amok through San Diego. That happened. And that's we've never broached that shit again. Like Jurassic...
they're not acknowledging it. It's just, never
Jurassic
happened.
Jurassic World wants to treat these dinosaurs as being this new concept that people are mystified by, and I'm looking at this and going, no! The last time people saw dinosaurs in real fucking life, it was a T-Rex that ate people! People would not be this receptive to the idea of living dinosaurs.
You know what this reminds me of? Transformers 2. The second movie, where they tried to tell us that they covered up the happenings of the first one.
What'd they do? Nuke the city?
I mean...
What, is Men in Black real in this universe too?
Not as far as I know. But it would take something like that, like some global magic light to make everyone forget about it. Because really, you covered up that battle. Everything that happened in the first movie. You covered that shit up.
Yeah,
sure.
No, you couldn't. That's that's actually impossible. But that's
not in the current world. Back in the 80s or something like that, that would be more believable, because there you didn't have cameras and live streaming and everything everywhere.
Yeah,
there, maybe with a lot of effort.
That shit would have been plastered over every single social media account, every single, that would be crazy. And
during the battle, you'd have thousands of Facebook or Twitter or whatever posts with clips from that fight. That would be unfuckable.
But at least with the Ghostbusters movies, at least they've not obviously there's enough time removed that maybe people just haven't really thought too much about the whole ghost thing since the Ghostbusters haven't been relevant.
Yeah, which I think Afterlife pretty much starts out like that, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's been so far removed that the Ghostbusters...
Nobody's really thinking about it anymore, and some people might laugh about it because it's just weird. People, obviously young people nowadays haven't really even seen anything like that because it's been just quiet since then.
So I'm willing to accept.
That seems to make sense.
I'm willing, like I said, I'm willing to accept a certain amount of deniability there, but you get to a point like you said with Transformers 1 to 2 where it's there's no way. What was it? Which one? Dark of the Moon, where there was this entire conspiracy about
That was the third one. Yeah, Dark of the Moon was the third one. The second one was Revenge of the Fallen, but even then, even just after the first one, you can't cover that up.
Yeah, alien life
city,
exists.
Battle in the city, the whole thing. No.
Yeah, you're not. This is... Unless this is a shared universe with Men in Black, which at that point, it would
have to be something like that, yeah.
At that point, that would be the most absurdly amazing crossover of all time. That I would actually actually be down with the concept that
honestly,
the Men in Black
could be interesting.
The Men in Black were real the entire time, and they just neuralized the entire city. They couldn't risk it. They neuralized
not just the entire city. They neuralized the entire internet.
Yeah, everybody caught that red flash. Everybody. There's not a single person that remembers that shit. That's the only way that works. And like I said, Jurassic Park's like the worst for this because Jurassic World treats dinosaurs like it's this new amazing concept that people have never been
small
introduced
cuddly
to.
animals.
Yeah, like I forgave Jurassic Park 1. You could say, well, the first Jurassic Park takes place on some like remote island out in the middle of Costa Rica. Most people don't know about what happened there. Everybody was under NDA, which, be honest with you, according to what I've read now, I'm not 100% sure an NDA would really protect InGen from that shit. There's some weirdness in the law that I don't know if they'd get away with it, but fair enough. Like,
that's at least partially believable. Although even that movie had its flaws in that regard.
Yeah.
What was it? Spared no expenses.
You spared plenty of plenty of expenses were spared.
Oh yeah.
Plenty of expenses.
Yeah.
In the
but
book,
that one still had enough of that you could get through that one with not too much of a suspension of disbelief.
You want to know where my suspension of disbelief falls apart? Like even before the Jurassic World trilogy happens, Jurassic Park 3. Jurassic Park 3 is where my suspension of disbelief is just disbelief.
I haven't really seen that one.
Okay, so InGen has two islands: Isla Sorna, Isla Nublar. Isla Nublar is where the park is. That's the touristy attraction thing, right? That's where the first movie takes place. Isla Sorna is where all the Black Ops science shit, where they create the dinosaurs, get them ready for the park, and then basically it's the staging ground. It's where the dinosaurs are made and gotten ready. So, okay. So, the movies explain that a giant ass storm at some point after the end of Jurassic Park 1, a giant ass storm came through and forced all the scientists, all the researchers off the island. It was massive. It was like category level 7 storm. They had to leave. But they weren't going to come back because InGen was going through the shit with the first park. So they just set all the dinosaurs free, right? Yeah. They set, I don't know why. I don't know what they were thinking. They set all the dinosaurs free.
Okay, so that's point 1.
Yeah, they set all the dinosaurs free. So the reason why Jurassic Park 3 strains my critical thinking ability is because Costa Rica, by the end of Jurassic Park 2, is now fully aware that there is an island in their waters with fucking dinosaurs on it. Now, personally, as an American, as you know, fuck yeah, America, my first thought is fuck that noise, nuke that shit from orbit. That's my first thought.
I'm guessing those weren't all land-bound dinosaurs.
Oh no, a lot of them were flying dinosaurs as well. Setting
those free might not be the greatest idea.
My first thought is Costa Rica, fuck that shit, nuke that bitch from orbit, and let's move on. So no, Costa Rica just makes it like restricted area, right? It's restricted waters. Like this.
Yeah, I'm sure the dinosaurs will adhere to that.
No, they don't. And not only do they not adhere to it, people don't adhere to it. That's part of the whole reason that movie even happens, because people decide to go parasailing off the coast of Isla Sorna and end up on the fucking island. Again, as an American, I say, fuck that shit, nuke that bitch from orbit. No, we are not gonna have an island full of dinosaurs in our territorial waters. Fuck that. nukes. All the nukes. You want to know how I know this is justifiable? Because in the first book, after the people get off the park, right after everything's gone bad, guess what? The Costa Rican government firebombs the entire island. All of it. They carpet bomb it over and over and over and over and over again. There is nothing left. They turn that entire island to glass. Fuck that. I am nuking this bitch with a planetary laser. Absolutely not. Hope you have a fantastic week, everybody. We'll see you all next time.
See ya.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, 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 no. No. No, there was a great video by Pancreas No Work as he was talking about he did a video about Star Wars Clone Commandos, right? And he was he was talking about war crimes, right? That the Clone Commandos committed. And he was like, yeah, like that time when Mace Windu's brain turned off and he decided, hey, why not just assault a Sith Lord with only 5 Jedi? He goes, no, fuck that. If that would have been me, I would have nuked that tower from fucking orbit. He goes, yeah, is that a war crime? Yeah, probably. But a Sith Lord is when you break out the war crimes for. He's like, it's a Sith Lord. This is the time when you bust out the war crimes. Unnecessary casualties? I don't know. I think that handful of thousands of people who would die and be blowing up that tower with a Sith Lord in it is nothing compared to the amount of people he's going to end up killing. The Jedi won't see it that way, but you know, the Jedi are usually wrong. Yeah. Ain't that right, Yoda?
I mean, at the end, there weren't that many Jedi left to see anything wrong.
Yeah, yeah, all the clones did that funny little thing where the Emperor flipped a switch and they all went full-blown team. They all went full-blown party kill on them.
Whoopsie.
My wife is like big in like the extended universe for Star Wars. Like that's a big thing for her. And I'm like, babe, do you really believe that like any number of these clone troops could just outright just kill a Jedi? And she's like, kinda? She's like, I think the movies make it seem too easy.
Probably, yeah. But it's also, I think, in many ways, it's the element of surprise that really
yeah, because why would you?
Makes it easy.
It's like why would you think that these test tube baby clone soldiers that are created to serve the Republic would ever turn on you? And
I mean, for most of them, there hasn't really been any indication of something that's gonna happen. But yeah.
It's all fun and games till Order 66 gets mentioned. The next thing you know, all the Jedi are dead.